Good morning. I'm here today with Ms. Camarillo, and she is going to tell us a little bit about her time here in the Edgewood community. What is your name?
My name's Rachel S. Camarillo.
How long have you worked at Roosevelt Elementary or been involved in the Edgewood community?
Okay, at Roosevelt I worked 8 years. Started in 2005. I've been in the Edgewood community or Roosevelt community 64 years. I'm 68 years old. I'm very proud of my age because I have spent almost all my life working with kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've enjoyed working with the children of Edgewood, and I retired from the Edgewood School District 30 years. I started at Loma Park Elementary. I worked at Emma Fry. I worked at H.K. Williams and Cenizo Park, and my last school was Cardenas, Early Childhood Development. And then I retired and I started volunteering, and then I started substituting. So I stayed in the Edgewood District because I love my district and I love my community.
That sounds great, and it sounds like you have a lot of experience here. And what did you do when you were here at Roosevelt? So you never worked at Roosevelt until you were a parent volunteer, is that correct?
I worked at Roosevelt in 2000. I started in 2005
Okay.
at Roosevelt. I started working at H.K. Williams. And then from H.K. Williams, it became Roosevelt for a short time.
Okay.
And then we transferred to Roosevelt here.
Okay.
And so I was bilingual aid. And then I went to, from bilingual aid to dyslexia. And from here, the dyslexia was, I think that the dyslexia class dissolved.
Okay.
And I was sent to Cardenas,
Okay.
Early Childhood Development.
Okay.
And then from there, I retired. I decided that I wanted to retire.
Right, but you still spend a lot of your time here.
I
helping.
prefer to volunteer here
Okay.
and to work here as a substitute
Okay.
because it's closer to my house. Because I live in the area.
Awesome. What did Roosevelt look like when you first worked here?
Well, when I first worked here, it's only been 8 years ago. So I'm going to go back when I was a student here at Roosevelt. There was nothing around the school. It was all just land and brush. Behind the school, we used to have the Vendawali farms, and they used to plant carrots and vegetables. And we used to see, I think I was 10 years old when that was second grade. We used to see the airplanes just come down and spray the insecticides over the vegetables. And that was kind of scary. And so everybody would go inside their house because we were scared, that something was going to happen to us because of we would see the cloud of smoke, and it was just the chemicals. And there was no bridge. It was just a creek. And so if it rained and flooded, we didn't go to school.
Oh, wow.
Especially the kids that lived up the hill. If it rained and it flooded, they didn't come to school because there was no way to cross that bridge or creek. And so it was just very open, and there were no houses built around the school. Later, they built 1 or 2 houses, and we used to go across the street, and the art teacher would tell us, I want you to draw and sketch the school, or plans, anything that you can draw. And that's all we did. We would go across the street, sit on the chair, and just draw the school over and over and over, and that's all we did. And then we had arts and crafts classes. We not like you have art today,
Mm-hmm.
No, we had arts and crafts classes. We used to model with clay. We used to draw. We used to do a lot of things. And so that was about it.
And I think from your answer just now, you kind of answered how it's different today. Or how do you see now based on, you mentioned how a lot of the things looked in the past. So how is it, so we can share with the students, how is it different today?
Well, today, you know, you have everything. You know, the houses, the businesses around the area, the bridge, we have the bridge, and we have good drainage, and so we have security. The Edgewood Police secures the area, and so it has grown, and I'm trying to work with the community to make it a better place, because Miss Camarillo here, you know, anything that's wrong in the community, I call right away to get it fixed. I try and get information on how to better our area, and so it depends also on the students to take care of the school. I would like for them to really, really take care of the school so that it can last 40 years like the old Roosevelt. And if we take care of things, you know, they're gonna last for a long, long time.
I agree. I think those are very important values that we all need to work on sharing with our students. Is there anything else that you've noticed that has changed in the community as a whole in Edgewood? And not just in this area. Any other changes? You mentioned the police department, but are there any other changes that you have noticed in the community?
Well, yes, because we have the Board of Trustees. They look for the well-being of the schools, and we all boys and girls. And you have a playground. When I was here, there was no playground. All we did was run and play hopscotch, baseball. We did everything in the back yard, and there was no swings, no slide, no nothing. And so now you have everything, and so that has improved.
Oh, definitely. Do you know when and why Roosevelt was first built?
Okay, Roosevelt Elementary, middle school was built in 1957, and the name of the company was Martin Construction Company because my brother worked for it.
Oh, wow.
And so, that's all I know, you know, as far as when it was built and who built it.
And why? I think you mentioned to me
Well,
before
because
the why.
H.K. Williams was an elementary, and we had up to first grade, because in those days you didn't have pre-K or kindergarten, so we started school in first grade, not knowing how to cut, how to color, and so we came from H.K. Williams to the middle school, just like your students will transfer from Roosevelt to Gus Garcia. We transfer from H.K. Williams to Roosevelt for middle school.
Okay. And you mentioned, I think already before, who helped build the school. Were there any other people involved in building the school?
No, not that I know of.
Okay. Who is our school named after?
Our school is named after the 32nd President, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He was considered a very good president, very well respected, that when Harry S. Truman, in October 11, 1960, Harry S. Truman was the 33rd President of the United States. He came to visit the site where Truman Middle School was going to be built. And when he was told that a school named Roosevelt was being built in honor of President Roosevelt, he turned around in the direction of Roosevelt and saluted. And that was very important. You know, that's how important Roosevelt, President Roosevelt was to the people, even to a president, you know. So he saluted in the direction of Roosevelt Elementary, well, middle school. But that's all I can tell you about that.
Is there anything else before we're done that you would like to share with the students, the current students of Roosevelt Elementary?
One of the things that stayed in my mind that I remember, and I'm reading it right now from this book that is from the Edgewood School District, and this is what Harry S. Truman told the audience when he came to visit the site of where Truman Middle School is located. He said, the most important thing a youngster can do is to get everything in his head. A head full of knowledge is the greatest thing in the world. They can't take that away from you.
Like that, that's it.
And so I would like for everybody to keep that in mind, you know, that knowledge, nobody can take knowledge away from you. And just keep on learning.
Very good. Well, I want to thank you so much for your time today. I have learned a lot about the community, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you. I also would like for them to remember that we do need to think about the past.
Of course.
And we do need to respect the past, and we need to learn from the past. And so that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much.
My name is Mr. Donald Kearney.
How long have you worked at Roosevelt Elementary?
I have worked here for 12 years.
What did Roosevelt look like when you first worked here?
Roosevelt Elementary had two large square buildings. It had 2 floors like it does now, but it also had a basement where we had the computer lab and the pre-K classes.
How is it different today?
Well, it's very different. First of all, the school was only one color. This time the school has many colors. The library was located toward the middle of the school. The cafeteria was in the back of the school. We had 5 portables behind the school where people park now. The gym was also very small.
What are some physical characteristics that you used to be here?
Well, the computer lab we had, but it was downstairs in the basement. We had 2 floors, but we had 1 floor that would kind of drop down because it was a sloped floor. Then later on we had a new building that we added, and it was in the back of the school, and it was supposed to be where we placed our new library there.
How were those physical characteristics modified?
Well, they got rid of the building that they had added to the school because they tore the school down and started over. Now, we got rid of the basement because now we just have our 2 floors. There are no more portables. All of the classes are in here. The music classroom used to be outside in a portable, but now it's part of the building.
What else has changed in this community?
3 blocks down, past around 34th Street, we have added new houses. There's a whole new section of houses that were not here when I first came here. St. Louis has been worked on. It was a little bit smaller street, and now it's a wider street. And there's a lot more traffic on San Joaquin and St. Louis now.
Did you know when and why Roosevelt was first built?
I'm sure Roosevelt was built to educate students, to be a school. When it was built, I would say, from what I remember, it was around 1957. That was the year that Roosevelt was first built.
Who helped to build the school?
Edgewood had a construction team that they had hired, plus there were people from the state who came to help build the school. Many construction workers were part of it.
Who was our school named after, and why was this person important?
The school was named after Franklin Delano Roosevelt. So the school is FDR School, Franklin Delano Roosevelt Elementary. It was named after President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He served as president for almost 4 complete terms. He also got us through World War II. He was considered one of our greatest presidents. That's why.
What else has changed in this community?
Well, aside from the more traffic and the extra neighborhood, we have a small restaurant down at the end of 36th Street called the Three Amigos, and that was built, and that came to us around 7 years ago. And they serve Chinese food, which is really good. And this whole area behind the school Used to have a few trees there, but they didn't. But they died. And we have a large field now. And I think we used to have a soccer field out there. We don't have anymore.
When you were little, did you learn how to do anything in school? Did you have any books?
Yes, I had a lot of books. One of my favorite books was Harold and the Purple Crayon. That showed me a lot about how to draw. So that was a lot. That was a fun book.
What grade were you in when you first came to this school?
To this school? I was already adult when I first came to this school. I came over to this school as a teacher. No, I didn't go to Roosevelt when I was a little kid. I went to a school called Shortledge up in Wilmington.
Thank you for letting me interview you.
Thank you.